You know the vibes. Another night of NBA action in the books, and you're listening to the Hoop Genius podcast presented by NBA 2K22. I'm in a good mood. Why is that? The Boston Celtics are 1 win away.
How many more? Just say it again.
1 win away from the NBA final. Like, I don't care what happens from here on out.
Bro, really I'm gonna call game. You know what I'm gonna call game 6 more?
Mm-hmm.
The real one.
Listen, as far as I'm concerned, this team that was sitting at 11th in the standings at the start of the year is 1 win away from the NBA. I don't care what happens next. I really don't. 1 win away from the NBA Finals after being 11th in the standings. After everyone saying, "Oh, you should trade these guys. They can't play together." 1 win away from the damn NBA Finals. I can't believe it. I really can't believe it. And the job's still not done, and they've still got to win one more game to get there. And you never know, Jimmy Butler could have a superhuman performance, but the way he's been playing lately, it doesn't look likely. But credit to the Celtics, Ime Udoka, Brad Stevens, general manager, and most importantly, the players out there on the court. They got it together. They took out KD and Kyrie. They took out the defending champions, the best player in the world, Giannis. Now they're taking out the number 1 seed. If they can win game 6 or game 7, they got a chance to close this one out at home in the Boston Garden. If not, then they got to go on the road and do it again. But they won game 5 on the road in what could only be described as, I don't know how to describe it, BJ. It was one of the lowest scoring first halves I've seen in a very long time from both teams. And I really don't know how to describe that game that we just saw, except for a historical game. Because it felt like I was not even in the 90s. I felt like I was in the 70s.
Well, in the broadcast, Mo, jokingly, I said, Back to the Future. You know what I mean?
Yep.
This was a throwback game. The game has really slowed down to a crawl pace. I mean, no one's really running. And I don't know what has happened to the offensive execution of the Miami Heat. Now, I know the Boston Celtics have something to do with this. You want to give them credit. And in particular, your guy, the Time Lord. The Time Lord was sensational. I love how Coach Udoka uses him. He allows him to cover space with his length. I mean, this guy had a couple of blocks tonight, which, Mo, we need to make.
He blocks 2 corner 3-point attempts. He got from the paint to the corner in time to block it.
That's which is incredible. I mean, this guy put on a display. I mean, that is a defensive display that that you just don't see often. Marcus Smart, I know he didn't have a terrific offensive scoring game, but his presence, but he was there. And how about Derek White? We're always looking for unexpected contributions. Well, we got it tonight from Derek White. Okay. Uncle Al was solid. What I love about Coach Udoka, what he did there in the second half, is that he made sure that his best players touch the ball every single time down the court. That's respect. Okay, this isn't an equal opportunity offense. If we're going to go down, we're going to go down with our best guys, and we're going to depend on our best guys to create offense for themselves first, and then create for the team if they're double teamed. And as I told you early in that, at halftime, I said, you asked me the question. You said, what would I be telling the team? One of these guys are going to have to step up. The offense now is everybody knows what everyone's doing, Mo. We got the scouting report, right?
Yep.
Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum took it upon themselves to create offense for their team when needed most. Those are what stars do, in particular, Jason Tatum. Jason Tatum had another slow start. I asked you, Mo, why does this guy always start off slow? And we noted early that that's what he does. But he plays through it. Defensively, they hung in there. And give those guys credit. Al Horford had a flashback play where I didn't even know Al could still move like that.
Transition, readjusted in the air.
Maybe Giannis is rubbing off on the guy or something. I didn't even know Al could do that.
Yep.
And give those guys credit. coach stuck with his 6-7 man rotation, who played the majority of the minutes. And those guys found a way on the road to come out and win this game. And they had 37 points at halftime or something like that?
Yeah,
is that what they had?
It was a horrible first half.
How about that? And they had a 30-point third quarter.
I just want to let the people know, BJ's referencing there the broadcast, what we were saying during the game. If you didn't know by now, I'm going to remind you one more time. You can watch the game alongside us. You can interact with us, join the conversation, have your questions answered. We are watching the games live and direct. We provide alternate commentary and answer your questions and join the conversation with you guys.
Shout out to Playback.
Playback is the company. Shout out to Playback. You can check the links on the Twitter page. Just keep an eye over there, and I'll be posting up every time that we're going live. We should be there tonight for the Warriors game as they look to close it out. But let's talk about this Miami Heat offense. The Celtics game plan, which has been working very well, is early on tonight, the first few possessions, the Heat round screen roll, the Celtics drop their big all the way back, and the guards fight over and they say, okay, cool. If you're going to beat us, you're going to do it through contested mid-range jumpers or floaters. And we're going to trust that Jimmy Butler and his jump shooting isn't strong enough to beat us like that. Or they're dropping back because they don't want Bam Adebayo getting an aggressive push downhill. Now, credit to the Celtics and their game plan. Bam Adebayo must be having nightmares about Rob Williams, because the difference in Bam when Rob's not on the floor and when Rob checks in is he's like two different players. He's like two different players when the Time Lord's there, when the Time Lord's not there. But then I think the other important factor for the Celtics is their switchability as well, because they have so many guys now that you're comfortable, not saying that for long stretches, but for a possession, okay, you can put Al Horford on a guy on the perimeter, or you can put Marcus Smart on a big, and you live with the result that comes out.
Yeah. You know what, Mo, that was interesting was the Time Lord didn't start in the second half.
Now that knee was troubling him a little bit.
Yeah, it was troubling him, but he fought through it. But I thought more so than his knee was I think I saw Coach Spo go small.
Yep, with PJ Tucker at center.
Yes. And the counter of Coach Udoka to go small so that the speed and quickness was matched up on the court, to me, was critical. And I thought that was a critical move there. And then you bring back the Time Lord when you start going to the bench, because it gave them the flexibility. The flexibility I'm talking about, Al has the ability to play small and play big. I mean, he's really a unique player in that way because he's a physical player. And then Grant Williams is a player who plays small, but he's a physical presence.
Yeah.
So I thought that was the move of the game. And I thought when Coach Udoka made that move, they caught a rhythm because now they were playing, they had the right matchups on the floor. And they really took advantage. I think they had a 30-point quarter, 30-16 or something like that, or something like that.
Yeah, what's crazy is like in the previous game, though, I saw a stretch of minutes where they had an ultra big lineup with Grant Williams at the 3, Al Horford at the 4, and Rob Williams at the 5. So having that versatility that Grant Williams offers, I think, is key. The Heat went small with Bam Adebayo resting on the bench with PJ Tucker at the 5. And I think they were trying to match the minutes of of Bam with the Time Lord. But what's interesting to me is Kyle Lowry, Max Strus combining 0 from 15. Now, Max Strus went off with an injury. Kyle Lowry's got injury, but we all know every team and every player now at this point pretty much is dealing with injuries. I'm trying to, BJ, can you name one player in this series who's not struggling with an injury?
No, everyone has injuries, but I'm going to tell you something that's been interesting to watch struggle. I can't recall most seeing this many air balls from 3 than I saw tonight by the Miami Heat. I mean, Mo, there were at least 4 or 5. I want to be conservative, at least. I mean, just flat out air balls. Like there was a couple of them where there weren't a defender around, and some of them that weren't air balls, they're just bricking off the backboard as well. Oh man, just poorly missed shots. I mean, it was unbelievable. So, I don't know, Mo. It had a different flow. Is that fair? It had a different flow to the game. We really didn't know what was going to happen. We took a guess. We just said that whichever team was going to get a run. That could have been either team. If you'd have looked at it at halftime, I mean, Miami came out and at least they were competing. I mean, which is a huge improvement from Game 4. But really, they laid an egg in the second half. and give Boston credit. They came out, played well. They were ready for the moment. And those guys, that was a huge, huge road victory.
I still can't believe that I'm saying the Boston Celtics are 1 win away from the NBA Finals.
How about that?
The series isn't over. The series isn't over yet, PJ. The series isn't over. And whichever team gets through to the finals is going to have to play considerably better than they're playing right now up against those Golden State Warriors, assuming the Golden State Warriors get there. Because the basketball, not just from the Heat, but the Celtics in the first half, their offense was turning the ball over. They were missing shots as well. They just went on a nice run. And you know how they went on that nice run to start the half? The second half started with a play for Al Horford getting on the inside. And the first, I think, like 6 buckets were all involved.
Screen and roll. Screen and roll. I mean, just a simple play.
Yeah, the Heat aren't a big team. Sometimes I watch Bam Adebayo and I feel like maybe he should be like Anthony Davis and play the 4 and demand to have a 5-man next to him. Obviously, defensively, he can be that 5, but you know, I don't know. The Heat have got to figure some stuff out, and everyone says injuries, but the Celtics have got a ton of injuries. Jason Tatum, he started off super slow and he was clutching at his shoulder, which seems to be giving him some real problems as his first like 5 field goal attempts were hitting the front.
But it got cooking late. It got cooking late.
He must have just loosened up. You know what I mean?
It warmed up. Yeah,
he must have. You
see that ball go through the basket. Yeah, it's like you, Mo. You see the ball go through the basket and the limp stops. You know.
Hey man, every time the ball goes through, the basket looks bigger and bigger. By the end of the night, Jason Tatum's catching whatever he wants. But it was a good win. It was a good win, especially in that fourth quarter by the Celtics to get away, pull away. Hopefully they can win game number 6 at home. How cool would it be to be in the Boston Garden in the NBA's 75th anniversary season? And first of all, the Warriors and the Celtics are 2 of the original franchises of the NBA. And them 2, along with the Knicks, got special 75th edition jerseys this year, which I think would be great to wear for game 1 of the NBA Finals if they make it there. I don't want to jinx it. But the Larry Bird Eastern Conference Finals MVP trophy, to be in Boston with Larry Bird handing out the first ever edition of that, I think that'd be pretty cool.
You know what I think is going to be really cool?
Mm-hmm.
Larry Bird in Boston.
Exactly.
Yeah, no, I think yeah, you'll have a tremendous ovation for whoever wins it. I think it's probably Jason Tatum, but
I think
having Larry Bird.
I think it's Al Horford.
You know, I would love to give it to Al Horford.
They don't win this series without him.
But I mean, when you look at the numbers, you can't you just can't.
BJ, we in the analytics here, and no one's
no. Let me tell you something. You and I should have our own award.
Yep.
You know, you should have for the, you know, just appreciating effort and energy for the, you know, the role players. You know, we always look at the star players and look, those guys, they're driving the bus, you know, as our guy Charles Barkley would say. But I'm gonna tell you something. Al Horford, hey, he's keeping that bus running. And right now, Al Horford is a huge, huge part of the success of this franchise. Much appreciated, because 99% of us are role players, whether we want to admit it or not, you know? And Al Horford has displayed a level of professionalism that you just have to appreciate, because he just brings it. And when you start affecting the game and not scoring, that to me just says it all about who you are as a player. And because everyone who plays the game knows how difficult that is, you know, because we all at some point were stars or in our own way. You know, everyone was a scorer at some point. Al Horford was a scorer. I mean, Al Horford was an all-star in this league for many years.
I would never have described him as a scorer, though.
Oh, yeah. When he was younger, oh, yeah, he could score the ball a little bit.
No, he could score it, but he wasn't like a scorer. Does that make sense? Like, he's always been a very well-rounded player.
Yeah, I'm talking about before the NBA.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Florida.
Yeah. College, high school. Yeah, at some point, you trust me, being a role player in high school and college is not going to, very rarely is it going to get you to the NBA. Yeah. Dennis Rodman was a scorer at one point.
Patrick Beverly was putting up 40-point games for fun.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
School.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Pat Bev is another prime example. I think that's why these guys really understand defense, because you have to really understand offense. You know, and when you are a good offensive player, it gives you an advantage on the defensive end. So, but shout out to Al. Shout out to the team. I mean, they've really done an exceptional job, and they have one more game, and they're very close to their goal, which is getting to the NBA Finals and ultimately have an opportunity to win it.
Well, if you get Al Horford's address, we'll put together an award for him because I feel like Uncle Al deserves some sort of award after what he's done throughout this playoff run. But Kyle Lowry, 0 points once again, 0 from 6 from the field, 0 from 5 from downtown.
What's he shooting for the series at?
It's abysmal. I don't want to look at it. It's going to be under 30% from 3. It will be under 30% from 3 and probably around 30% from the field.
Yeah, I'd be shocked if he's made over.
My man Josh Everly is saying this is his 5th playoff game in his career with 0 points, and his 7th. Kyle Lowry, 7th time going 0 from 5 or worse from 3. Like I said to you yesterday, I don't know if it was on a podcast, I don't know if it was on a stream, but that's just how much a championship changes the narrative around a player. Because all of a sudden it's Kyle Lowry's a championship player because they won that chip. If it wasn't for that, I think the conversation would be very different around what that guy is doing, but we have to respect him. We're going to have to see if the Miami Heat can bounce back. Is there a hope for the Miami Heat to win Game 6 on the road in Boston, BJ?
I don't see much. Stranger things have happened, but based on what I've seen, okay, and I'm just going to go by what I've seen. I'm not going to go with Heat culture and
Heat culture clearly ain't showed up.
Grit and all those things, right? Okay. All right. We understand what's in the past and in the DNA and all of those things. Based on what I've seen, I think this team is defeated. Okay. They look like a defeated team. And I don't know if they believe they can beat this team. Based on what I've seen, Mo, I'm telling you, I can't recall when I've witnessed or watched a conference finals, and I don't know what the other team is trying to accomplish, especially on the offensive end. Mo, when you get to the conference finals, you're a pretty well-oiled machine. You pretty much, you have a style of play. You pretty much have a rhythm. You pretty much know who you are. Mm-hmm. I can't tell you what the Miami Heat are trying to accomplish or where they feel they have an advantage, what they're trying to do on the offensive end. And it's the only thing they look like they can do is if we get a stop, we can
transition basketball.
2 things they like they do. We could transition basketball and we look like we can offensive rebound.
Yeah.
Other than that, Mo,
they're missing so many shots. They're missing so many shots. There's so many chances for offensive rebounds. The difference is in game 1, Jimmy Butler had 41 points. Game 2, he had 29. And then since then, he's had 8 points, 6 points, and today he had 13 points. Now, I don't know if he's injured or not, but if he's not going to play like a superstar and play like a true MVP for that team, then they don't have a chance in it. And if Bam Adebayo is not going to be aggressive, then they don't have a chance in it. And if Jimmy is injured, he don't have the explosiveness. He can still find the switches. Like he did a great job earlier in the series of targeting guys like Derek White or Peyton Pritchard if he's into the game and just using his size and his strength. But if those 2 guys aren't getting it going, they really can't.
I'm going to tell you what I did see, though. Well, I'm going to tell you what I did see, Mo, if I'm Coach Spo. Mm-hmm. I'm going down with Bam. Today, you know how
he was the only one
watching Miami Heat. When you watch the Miami Heat, at least me, but maybe others, I always think it's Jimmy Butler's team. You know what I saw today, Mo?
It's Bam's team.
It's Bam's team. It's Bam's time to shine now. It's Jimmy, you can ride, but now, Bam, you got to get up 25 shots.
No, he needs to. That's the only chance.
Like part of being a star is I have to get up 25 shots. That's your job. Why? Because you're going to get the ball probably 5 to 10 times a game with 5 seconds or less. You got to get up a shot. We can't have the 24 seconds. So you got to get up 25 shots. If Bam can get up 25 shots, I feel pretty confident he'll make 10 of those. Mm-hmm. Okay. He'll get to the free throw line and then we'll play from there. That's to me, that's the only thing that I see. Now, if Bam can come out and get me 25 or 30 points, at least they have a chance. Playing through anyone else other than Bam at this point, to me, is a lost cause. But that's what I see.
I agree. He has to be aggressive. But like we said, when Rob Williams is in the game, he don't even want to take those shots. So it's going to be interesting to see the adjustment. Speaking of closing out a series, though, tonight, the Dallas Mavericks face the Golden State Warriors. We're going to be doing the game live, so make sure you come and check out Playback and hang with us there. Do you see any world in which the Warriors don't close us out at home tonight? They lead.
I do see. Now, I'm going to be watching this game. The Warriors know the task at hand. When you have someone on the ropes, you take them out. Okay? I love the fact that they played that game for 48 minutes. That, to me, them losing game 4 didn't bother me. It will bother me if they lose this game 5, though.
Well, I said this yesterday. I'll say it again here. They didn't really lose game 4.
Yeah. They lost.
They were down 30 and they came back to almost win the game with just their bench players. Like, as in, I don't think they'll be feeling that bad. And I don't think the Mavericks will be feeling that good after that. But the series shifts back to Golden State. So they're back in the Chase Center. That's what concerns me about the role players, the Reggie Bullocks, the Maxi Cleavers, the Davis Bertans of the world, being able to hit their shots on the road. Now, as someone who is a three-point marksman throughout your career, especially from that corner 3, what's the mindset, just real quick before we wrap up here, what's the mindset in going into a road game, and why is it so different for role players to hit shots on the road compared to at home?
Because you have to play a different way on the road than at home. So it's 2 different games. It's not so. Personally, I always enjoy playing on the road. That was my thing. I love playing on the road. Why?
Silence the crowd.
Because my routine was much better on the road. I'm concerned for the Warriors because of the following. When you play in the playoffs, there's a major distract, at least for me in my era and what I saw, there's a major distraction of playing at home for the playoffs because you're at home for an extended amount of time, right? You're at home. There's nothing else going on. There are no distractions. There's ticket requests, and people are coming to the game with an expectation, especially in a closeout game. No one's coming to the Warriors game to see anything other than the confetti.
Yeah.
Okay. And when you're playing in the playoffs, you can get distracted, right? Mm-hmm. There's media requests and all those things. When you're on the road, you're in your hotel, your room service comes at 3:30, 3 o'clock, whatever you do. You got your nap, you put your do not disturb on, you can lock in. You don't have to worry about driving to the game. You get on the bus, you catch the early bus over, you could focus in. You don't have to worry about tickets. It's just easier to play. Mm-hmm. It's easier to play. At home, you got to get your drip right. You got to, which car am I going to drive? All of these guys, Mo, I need 15 tickets because this is the game. I can't miss this game for the gram. Mo, can you walk in at 5:30 because the camera wants to get you walking into the arena for all of us fans to see what Steph Curry's wearing, what this guy's wearing. There's a lot of distractions, Mo, especially in a closeout game. And Mo, you already see, this is the thing, Mo, that no one sees. I'm going to take our listeners behind the curtain. When you walk into the arena, Mo, mm-hmm. you see these crates, and you look in the crates, and you know what's in the crates? Conference finals champion hats and shirts. You see a little champagne on the other side as you're walking in, Mo. Mm-hmm. Okay, Mo. Now,
that's what worries me for the Celtics in Game 6.
Well, it's different. The Celtics had to fight for this one.
But the Warriors have got the lead. Yeah.
The Warriors, no one's giving them a fighting chance. You know what I mean, Mo? Mo, you know how you like, you just like everyone's counting you out. Well, okay, everyone's expecting for these guys to get closed out.
Yeah.
And this is what bothers me, and this is what concerns me. So that game that the Dallas Mavericks played, okay, yeah, they had some slippage. They did some things. But let me tell you something too. Well, they're very capable. Mm-hmm. This guy, Luka Doncic, is playing with house money. If he loses, he was supposed to lose anyway.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? But I'm going to tell you something. If they get that thing back to Dallas, Mo, I'm nervous. I'm nervous for the Warriors in this game. Get this over. Get it over quick. Get it. It's like Mo being in a heavyweight fight. Don't mess around with this guy. Knock him out.
Mm-hmm. Well,
knock this guy. Get rid of Luka. So that's all. That's what I'm hoping for. Dominic. Get rid of that guy. Shake his hand. Say, I'll see you in 22, 23. Get rid of this guy.
They better do, because our flights are booked to San Francisco. So they better not throw away this 3-0 lead, or we're completely screwed. Okay. But we're going to see if they can knock them out tonight, because we're going to be live streaming the game on playback. So make sure you check out the Hoop Genius Twitter this evening, and you'll be able to watch the game along with us. Come and join the conversation. That's been another episode of the Hoop Genius podcast with myself and BJ Armstrong. Make sure you review, leave a like, leave a subscription, all of that good stuff. And I am back on YouTube. I dropped a video on the main channel today. If you want to go check that out, I did a rebuild. BJ, quick question for you. If I took all the NBA players who currently have a podcast, okay, so Draymond Green, Kevin Durant, CJ McCollum, Fred VanVleet, all these guys, put them onto a roster all together, how many games do you think they would win in the regular season?
I have no idea. I don't even know how to calculate that.
To find out the answer, you have to watch the latest video on the Hoop Genius YouTube channel. So that's what you guys can do once you finish listening to this podcast. And until tomorrow or until tonight, because we'll be watching the game and hopefully you guys will be there, make sure you get buckets.